Hello students, today I'm talking to you about putting together your contract scenarios. We're going to call this assignment Let's Contract, an offer, rejection, and acceptance scenario. And you're going to end up creating two. Now you are my target audience, you high school students in business law. Some of the objectives that we're going to try and obtain here is we're going to demonstrate an accurate and communicated offer. We're also going to demonstrate a form of rejection, a form of acceptance, and overall we'd like to show an understanding of the necessary requirements to contract. Now, how does this assignment meet the objectives? Well, this assignment is designed to have students, you, identify three different parts of a contract: the offer, a form of acceptance, there are multiple versions and you get to choose, and a form of rejection. Again, there are multiple versions and you get to choose which version you would like to use. These versions of acceptance and rejection can be found in your notes. The wiki notes that we took, they are linked to this assignment. You must identify each, and you're going to use Powtoon to demonstrate these concepts. Powtoon is an app in your Google Drive, and I'll show you how to get there in a moment. You must also be sure to meet all the requirements of a contract. There are 6 of those. So when you're building your contract and you're showing offer, an acceptance, and a rejection in those types of situations, you need to make sure you address the 6 requirements of a contract, especially when you're putting in the acceptance part, so you can show a completed agreement. Because if not all those requirements are met, then your acceptance really won't be shown in the completion of your project. So as we go on and we keep looking at it, overall, the assignment gives students an opportunity, or you, the opportunity to show they understand, or you understand, the requirements of a valid contract and a contract that is not accepted or involves negotiation of some kind, possibly. This will help you ultimately know how to accept a contract and make it binding. And there are various ways that you can do that, and I hope as you leave this lesson, you have a better understanding of what shows a binding contract. So for your assignment, here are some instructions on the next slide here. I'd like you to create a rejection scenario, and what I mean by this is you're going to write a paragraph, much like the scenarios that we've responded to in our text, that builds some kind of scenario about an offer that's being made and a rejection that occurs. And I just want you to build a paragraph at 4 to 5 sentences telling me about what happened in some kind of scene that you've made up. You can pick any characters. It needs to remain appropriate. Part B, this is just part 2 actually. You're going to create a completely different scenario, but this time instead of a rejection, you're going to add some kind of acceptance. That can be a bilateral acceptance, a unilateral acceptance. There are a couple other versions that you can add as well. I encourage you to look at our wiki notes, the ones we took at the beginning of this unit, to help you decide which type of acceptance you're going to put in that paragraph. So you should have 2 paragraphs after A and B, 2 different scenarios. Then you're going to take each scenario and you're going to create a script, much like those that someone would read in a play. And you're going to create that scenario as if it actually happened, and what people would say or the actions and movements that would occur. And I want you to make one for each scenario that you wrote. So there should be 2 paragraphs, one for rejection, one for an acceptance. And then you should also have 2 scripts, totally separate. I would even use separate characters so you don't get them confused. After you make the scripts, down here finally where it says finally produce each script as a separate live scenario using the tool Powtoon, you're going to put your scripts into live action. Alright, in the past I've given students the opportunity to act these out in class, but I feel like maybe Powtoon might be a better avenue for most students to complete this exercise. So I'm going to give you this option this time to use Powtoon, and I'm going to show you how to get to Powtoon real quick. It's in your drive, and give me a moment and I'll pull that up and show you. I'm going to pause this for a second and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I had to increase the size of my screen so you guys can see where I'm going to go here. Again, we're talking about Powtoon, and I'm going to show you how to get there real quick. Up here on my screen you can see my drive. It's like a green triangle, yellow and blue. You're going to go there and it should bring you to this little screen right here if you're in your drive. And I'm going to go to create, and then over here I have the application Powtoon. in my drive. You should all have this. We did this on the first day of class, and I told you well in advance that we would be using this app along with a few of these others that are already in here. If you don't have it for some reason, you moved in and you just weren't here for the first couple days of school, right here in Connect More Apps, you can click on that, and this screen will show up, and you can see it's right there. You can connect from right here. Just click on Connect. Since I already have it, it says Rate It, but you could click on Connect and that would work. Or you can search for it in here just by typing Powtoon. If you don't know how to spell Powtoon, well, it's right there in this instructional video, Powtoon. It is also, when I hit create here, you can see it right there as well. So if you need to pause the video and use this right now to get Powtoon on your deal, that's what you can do. After you have it loaded here on your screen, you can just click on it, which I've already clicked on it, so I'm going to go back up here. I have a Powtoon open, and this is the main screen. This is the main screen for Powtoon. You have a ton of options over here on the side. These are all just examples. You can start from scratch, or you can use a previous one and add in your own bits. You can edit them as you see fit. Beware that there are some, like this one that says premium. You have to pay for those, and our school's not paying for them. I'm not paying for them. If you want to do that, by all means, you're welcome to, but it's definitely not a requirement. So all I want you to do is make your own Powtoon and make 2 scenarios, 2 scripts using this software. So I'm going to click on this sign up now, not because it's the best one or because you need to use it. I'm just going to use it for an example. So I'm going to click on this one, and then I'm going to click edit, and it's going to take me to the editing screen where I can then edit Powtoon, or a Powtoon. And there's a little wait time. It takes a little moment to load up. I will say this, while this is loading, this is a great tool to really demonstrate what you understand. Putting together a scene and all technical issues, and spelling is important. The way things fly in and out, and I'm going to increase the size of my screen again. I'm going to pause. Just give me. Okay, I'm back. I increased the size of my screen so you can see all this information down here at the bottom as well. This is a Powtoon. It looks very similar to PowerPoint in its setup, but the overall run is a lot different. So this is a pre-made one. It's kind of like a template, and I'm going to show you what happens after you get it set up, what it could possibly look like. So I'm just going to hit play here so you can see what the template looks like, and then we'll talk about a couple other tools and then let you get started. Okay, so here it goes. It's running. You can add music to this as well. You can add your own voice to this if you want to. You just have to record your voice or the music that you'd like and add it through the sound option up here. And it's going to play and do these animations all in a manner of, well, I think this one's about 30 seconds. So, and you can tell how long it is up here. There's a 30-second little window right here. Okay, so you can kind of get the gist of what it's going to look like in the end. How do you manipulate things now? Okay, so let's say on slide 1, there's nothing. It looks blank. But if you drag the timeline indicator over here, you can see things move in. There's R, U fed up, and all that's done, like those words come in because there's this option right here. If you want to see what's on a slide, you click on each individual thing below the timeline, and it'll tell you when it enters and when it exits. There's an entrance and an exit option. How do you know when to enter and exit things? Well, those options are right down here, and you can choose how they enter and exit. You can flip things. You can increase the amount of time that slide stays on the screen by clicking the plus button, and it'll add plenty of seconds for you. It should be plenty of time, but be careful about how much time you add, because you can put too much time and then there's dead time in your video and then people lose interest. So you don't really want a lot of dead time in there. And in fact, I'm going to tell you right now, your scenarios, when you create them, should not be more than 2 minutes max. Okay? We'll talk about how to save and send to YouTube later, but for now, just keep your scenarios 2 minutes max. So when you see this time up here where it says It's gone for 1 second, and then there's 30 seconds total. Yours should not say more than 2 minutes total on here. Now, it should be at least 30 seconds. At least 30 seconds, okay? So between 30 seconds and 2 minutes, your Powtoon needs to be created for each scenario. So at maximum, you should have a total of 4 minutes worth of contract time if you were going to meet the whole max or go to the full time. Minimum, 1 minute, and that'd be 30 seconds per scenario because you have to create two. All right. A couple of the things, how do these things get down here? Over here on the side are all your options and your tools. You can pick different characters and hearts and all kinds of interesting tools to use, just like you would if you were going to insert tools into a PowerPoint. There are more things. You can click this arrow over here and it'll give you some of them that say more, they cost. So you got to be careful which ones you pick. Some are, if they don't say more, they're free, and those are the ones you really want to use. But I think there's plenty of tools in here for you to explore with and play with and be able to make your contract, okay? The text things, you can have them handwritten in, and there's a couple other interesting ways that those words can come in. Kind of play with the text effects and have fun with it, but also make it, reasonable for what you're trying to do here. So I hope you enjoy using Powtoon. If you have any more questions about this tool, you can ask me in class. All of your editing, like text editing things and all these things up here, they're all located across the top like a normal toolbar and any other tool you've ever used. Don't worry about, make sure you hit save. I should say that. Make sure you hit save when you're done or when you're going to be done for a day and you're going to come back to it. If you don't hit save, that's going to cause you problems. And it'll save it to your Google Drive. So you can come right back and actually just open Powtoon and go get it from there. It'll be in your dashboard. And after your first day, we'll talk about where your dashboard is and how to pull your video out from there. We'll also talk about when you finish how to share your video. But for now, just for this part of the assignment, we're just going to have you get started with Powtoon, and in class we'll talk about the other two tools. Thank you for your time. I hope you enjoy the assignment. I look forward to seeing your contracts.